Welcome to the third and final video of our first exercise in Digital Art and Design 1. I'm first going to show you how to organize your layers panel a little bit more, which is optional, but some people really enjoy using this technique. And then I'm going to show you how to create a gradient by unlocking the background, and then I will show you how to create and manipulate type, and then we'll be done. So the first thing I'm going to show you is over here in the layers panel. You'll notice that there are eyeballs to the left of the little layer icons for each individual layer. And if you click on the eyeball, it'll turn off, or it'll go away, and then you'll notice that component of your piece is missing. And know that this is Photoshop's way of letting you try a bunch of different things without having to commit to anything. So let's say, I was doing a complex piece and, I tried a different layer mask or something that we'll learn later, and I just really didn't like how it looked, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to drag it down and delete it or not. I could just turn the eyeball off to get a feeling as to what my piece would look like if that layer was gone. So know that these are here, and they are tools that you can use. I can also, if I'm somebody that really likes to organize what I'm doing, I can right-click the eyeball on my layer, and you see that I can color code some of my layers. So up here I used the secondary color, so I have green and orange and purple. Now this might not be necessary on this project because we don't have that many layers, but if you want to test it out, it is a good technique to use later when you're creating a complex piece with 15 to 20 different layers on it. So again, I'm going to right click, and this is a green one, so I'm just going to kind of go by the colors that I created. You could do anything. You could color all of the swatches one color and then you could then color your painting or your photograph another color. So, but for here I'm just going to right click and then color these with the colors that they represent. So these are violets, I'm going to choose that. And if I right click here, I'm going to get a whole nother set of options. So I want to make sure that I go to the eyeball and then right click that. Maybe I want my painting to be gray and my background to be nothing. So that's just a way to kind of organize your layers panel in addition to naming them by double clicking on the name. Next, we are going to create a background gradient layer, but we can't really do that right now because if we try to highlight the background layer and then click, it won't let us do really anything because the layer is locked, and then you can see that right over here with the little lock button. What we got to do is trick Photoshop into getting renaming this. It automatically locks background, so we're going to double click here, and I'm just going to name it gradient. You could name it whatever you wanted. Again, here's an option for if you want to give it a color. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. We want it to be normal with 100% opacity, so we're going to say OK. And then you're going to go and find your gradient tool, which is right underneath the paint bucket tool, or just kind of in the same, hidden in the same area as the paint bucket tool is. So we're going to click and hold your left mouse key and then drag over to choose gradient. And then you'll notice up here, this set of boxes or options change. And this holds true for selecting a lot of tools. Like if I were to select the brush tool, then all of my brush options pop up right here. So that's somewhere useful to look when you select a tool. You can see what it does. So I'm going to double click this bar right up here, single click or double click, and I'm going to choose one of these presets, and then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to go with the black to white because it's easily editable. If you see the black fading into the white, there's no checkerboard like there is right over here, and that means that we're taking one opaque color and then slowly transitioning it into another opaque color. If I wanted to choose one color and then fade it into the background, which in my case, my background is white, you could do that too. So if you already have a background color set for your background and you want one color to fade into that, you can choose the foreground to transparent. But I'm just going to choose black to white. But I want to choose different colors. And maybe I want to choose some colors that are found in my painting. I wouldn't choose colors that are already identical to the ones shown on your color swatches because it'll make your color swatches disappear. It's just kind of up to you. So I'm going to double click on these things right here. They look like little drawings of houses. These are called stops, and I'm going to double click, and then I can choose any color I want to, or I can use my color from this menu, or I can use my color picker tool, and maybe I kind of want to go with colors that are found in my piece. You don't have to, again, it's just an option. I'm going to say OK. So I have this purple color, and then I'm going to double click over here, and then I'm going to choose a different color. Maybe I'll have it fading into like reddish pink. All right, that's not too much of a change, so I'm gonna fix that. There we go, I like that a little bit better. And you don't have to stop at just fading one color into another. If you want to add another stop or another color picker, just go ahead and click somewhere along this line here, and wherever you click, you'll add different color pickers. Now let's say I got a little bit excessive, I don't want to change the color 6 times. I can click and then drag this off or away, and it'll go away. So I'm going to double click, and then I'm going to just pick a few more colors that it'll fade into. Oops, man, I want to pick it from here. How am I doing that? Oops. If that ever goes away, just go ahead and double click again. So I have these 4 colors, and then if you notice, I can click and then move my little stops to alter how much of a color is shown and for how long, and I can take these little white diamonds and move those over within the stops. So once you get a gradient that you like, you say OK. And I'm on my unlocked background layer that I renamed gradient. Now I'm just going to click and drag. I can experiment dragging straight up and down to up, diagonal, and then you can see that based on the different ways that I click and drag, I get different levels or different effects with my gradient. So just go ahead and play with that for a little bit until you find something that really kind of resonates with you. Like that. And if you don't like anything that happened, you can double click and you can change it. I'm gonna move. Oops, I don't want that one. I'm gonna move. So I made a couple of changes, and then I would redo it here. Let's say I like that. So I'm almost done here. The last part of this is just to add type. So I'm going to come over to the T on the left-hand toolbar. I'm going to click that. I'm going to add type somewhere on my picture. So I'm going to click. My computer froze. All right, so now we have type, and then that little cursor comes up, kind of similar to Microsoft Word. I'm going to click there, and then you'll notice that my options up here change, just like they did with the gradient. I'm going to choose a color that is easily seeable from where I put the type. I'm going to choose like a dark purple, and then I can change the size of the font here. I'll show you how to transform it in a second, and then here I can choose from a bunch of different fonts. So I want you to choose a font that you like, and then a color that you like by clicking here, and then you're going to write the color scheme. So these are secondary colors. So I'm going to write that, and then you'll notice that the default tool, when I move away from like right where my type is my move tool, so I can move my type anywhere that I want to. If I want to make this bigger or smaller and not have to worry about going back and changing the font point, I can go Control T. Oops. Control T. Oops, I have 2 type layers. I'm going to delete one. I'm going to go to secondary colors, Control T, and then I'm going to hold down Shift if I want to keep the proportions right, or if I want to kind of drag them out, I could do that too. So maybe I want a big font like that, kind of off to the side. And then you're going to double click to apply that transformation. You can also warp the text if you want to by clicking this button up here. And you're going to need to select your font, click War, and then I can bend it. I could put it in a wave, and then with these toggle switches I could kind of decide how I wanted it. So if I kind of wanted it to move up along the mountains, maybe that would be a good option. Then I can always move it around a little bit. Some other things that you can do with text that I want you to try on this is you can have your text layer selected, and then you can go to layer up top and then go down to layer style, and then I want you to try and give it a few different layer styles. So once you open up that layer style panel again by going layer, layer style, clicking, and then opening this, you can manipulate your text further. So let's say I want a shadow. I can change the spread of it, the size of the shadow, if I want it blurry, if I want it small, the distance when compared to my original text. And then once you're doing it, you've noticed that it shows up on your document, so you really have a say in what it looks like right away. So I want you to try a few different ones of these and just kind of experiment and see what layer styles do, as that's something that we will return to over and over again, whether it be type or photographs or whatnot. So this is your completed project. Again, before you hand it in, make sure that you have 5 to 6 colors that are found in your photograph that correlate with a color scheme. You have a gradient background. You have explored type by typing the type of color scheme as well as manipulating the text, and then you will file and save as. You'll save it in your folder, and I named it secondary color scheme white. So I would hand this in as well as the one that we did together in class for a total of 2. Nice job. See you later.